Global news. Look what NFL lineman furious about being forced to stand just promised to bring on field instead. After being browbeaten for weeks over respecting the national anthem, the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell finally decided to do the right thing, but not because he wanted to. With the lowest viewership in decades, loss of advertisers, and a litany of other negative side effects to kneeling for the anthem, Goodell's announcement that all players are expected to stand was a little too late to save the league. Had he gotten ahead of the issue at the start, players wouldn't have become so defiant and entitled in their nasty message to America as they have now. Although overpaid NFL players should feel ashamed of their antics for looking like petulant little children who didn't get their way, some have decided to take their tantrum to the next level after being told not to kneel anymore. The original protest is no longer about the social justice message that it began with. It's metastasized into showing defiance and disrespect for President Trump, who succeeded in getting the NFL to say players need to stand. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive tackle Gerald McCoy is one of these self-righteous players who doesn't like being told what to do and has now made a sick public promise of what he'll bring on the field if forced to stand. Goodell didn't mince words when he sent a strongly worded memo about the new expectation that players respect our country, flag, and fans. "We believe that everyone should stand for the national anthem," the commissioner wrote after a complete turnabout to his previous stance on the matter, and really only because he was desperate. He added that the league wanted to honor our flag and our country, and our fans expect that of us. It's obvious that he really doesn't believe what he wrote, since he would have stated this from the start of the protests. However, it's still a directive he's hoping players follow through on to prevent the league from losing more money, but seems to have gone over like a lead balloon. The anthem protests haven't gone over well with the American public, but Goodell's reversal didn't quite go over so well in those corners of the NFL that have of late become an adjunct of the American far left. One player in particular, Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive tackle Gerald McCoy, seemed to stop just short of promising open revolt if Goodell's rather strong recommendation were to become official league policy. "If you take protesting the anthem away from them, there's gonna be an uproar," McCoy told ESPN's Adam Schefter. "I don't think guys are gonna like it," McCoy continued. "I think it's gonna be an uproar if that is to happen, because you're basically taking away a constitutional right to freedom of speech. If guys wanna have I guess you would call it a peaceful protest, I don't think it's right to take that away." McCoy, an 8-year veteran, isn't one of the kneeling contingents, surprisingly enough. However, he buys into the same insanely faulty logic that everyone taking a knee seems to harbor. This somewhat incoherent veiled threat just proves how ignorant these players are about their rights and the national anthem. While McCoy is correct that kneeling is a type of speech that's constitutionally protected, it doesn't mean that it can prevent someone from being fired if they do it in the workplace. The football field in front of paying fans is their workplace, and they are not above the rules that apply to other Americans simply because they can throw and ball and tackle people. More importantly, McCoy fails to realize that nobody cares about his uproar he's promising because advertisers and fans have already beat him to that punch. There's already an uproar over the national anthem, and it's coming from the NFL's consumers, the fine people that have made Gerald McCoy a millionaire, Conservative Tribune explained. If McCoy doesn't think so, maybe he should ask himself why Roger Goodell went from embracing the protests to rather usually telling players to knock it off in the span of 2 short weeks. Spoiler alert, it's not because America agrees with the protesters. The NFL is under no compunction to subsidize the political activities of any of its players at the expense of its bottom line. There are plenty of opportunities for constructive political engagement that do not involve disrespecting the anthem, the flag and those who have fought for it every Sunday, Monday and / Thursday. It's arrogant for players like McCoy and all others athletes to feel that they can go against an executive of a private organization's orders and fear that they'll be replaced. If they don't like this very simple rule, they can and should find a new line of work, not promise an uproar or any other kind of retaliation. Players should start being fired for not standing for the anthem, which should have been the response from the start. That is the surest way to fix this persistent problem that's devastating the NFL.